way.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Somehow our streams cut off and we stopped, but we weren't done talking because I was talking about my story with Trump that I thought was really, really interesting. Anthony, if you're still out there, come on back. Post on X that we're back on. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. I told you I don't do face plant.
Okay, well, you talk for a minute and then I'll tell about it.
Well, so if you know, for example, back when we were in the neighborhood and the big house and all that stuff, not the big house, but I remember
Anthony posted our video and it may include sensitive topics. That's very true. Thank you, Anthony. Our hearts are out. How's it go?
That was awesome.
Commander. Okay. Galaxy Quest for those who don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so back to me and Trump.
Go for it.
Okay, back to me and Trump. So before I knew anything about President Trump, before I'd seen any videos, a friend of mine that was very liberal, a coworker, I asked him, I said, he was thinking about Trump, but he was into Andrew, that other guy, the tech guy. And I said, the one thing that scares me about Trump is he's such a strong man that if things get much worse, if things really get bad, he's kind of got all the makings of a dictator. And my friend said, Christy, you don't have to worry about anything like that until people get hungry. I thought, oh, that's such a good point. It's when people are hungry that dictators are able to take over. That's when totalitarianism becomes it shows itself for its true form. So I watched a video about Trump. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Now, since then, and since the election, and here we are in 2024, I've had because of YouTube and what we have with social media today and everything that the information age we live in, I've been able to see those videos from back in the 80s that I never watched before when he was on Oprah, when he was interviewed by hosts who are no longer with us. I should have written down their names. Larry King, when he married Melania, that was the entire interview is online, you guys, him and Melania. It is an amazing, but he's believed exactly the same thing all along that he always did believe. He loves America. Well, of course he does. Look at what it's done for him. He was able to not just succeed, but succeed, fail, succeed, fail, succeed, fail, succeed, fail. When you talk about failing up, that's what I think.
My favorite story is the ice skating rink that they couldn't get done for years.
What was it?
And he's like, I'll do it.
And he did it in 3 months. 3 months.
They're like, oh, thank you so much. And now he's the bad guy of New York, seriously.
Right. Ed Koch loved him.
But it's all about politics. It's all about the spin. It's all about who's in control. And these people don't want to have any exposure to what's going on. Because like we said, we know Joe Biden wasn't running this. We give him the benefit of the doubt for a while, but how do we know how long this has been going on? Even before Obama, before I stopped I stopped at some point contributing. I'd given to the Republican Party, and they called me, and it was kind of a panic state call, to be honest with you. And I said, I was getting kind of annoyed with this stuff because I'm like, why would I give to you at this point? And then he's like, well, you're just going to let the Dems just win and take over. And I'm like, you tell me what you've done for us lately. Tell us what you've done for us.
Was that during Bush's years?
I don't remember when. I'm thinking it was around 2010.
I think it was around 2012 when Mitt Romney was trying to get the nomination, or he got the nomination, but he was trying to run against
And he brought up our rep.
And they're begging us for money. And we're not big contributors, folks. We're just regular people, but it's regular people that make the difference.
And he brought up one of our reps. And I was in sales, so he brought up one of the reps, I forget whether it was senator or congressman or whatever. But, we go vote and stuff like that. But he's like, well, so-and-so is really prominent in this area. And all I could think of was, you're making my point. What about the people? And now it's gotten to a point where it's so deep and so controlled that we have to do something. I'm kind of like Donald Trump. If we don't get out. Don't start looking at these Dominion machines. Don't do whatever we can. Be a poll watcher. Get the vote out. Do podcasts. Make people aware. If we don't do this at this point, because now we've got the tools, we may not necessarily have the power, but get a video. If they're shutting down a polling area too soon or too late, or if all of a sudden, like they did last time, everything went quiet and some people got some videos of what were going on. This is about people keeping power. And this is not about a creeping socialism in there anymore. What was that? I watched this one lady on a video, and I'm getting off track again, but she was talking about, we're coming for your kids. Guess what? They're not just throwing them Common Core. They're not just like they're talking about life-altering issues while they're still in single digits. You're trying to figure out if this is a good kindergarten class, and within a few years, they're not even telling you that they're going to alter your children. And when you're young, you get all kinds of crazy things wondering about life going on. How many vulnerable people are they picking?
So,
sorry.
That's okay. We were going to title this Troy's Rant, and I probably should have stuck with that.
Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been good. But then I felt the pressure.
Did you?
I just saw a video that was an abortion clinic. And it was a satanic abortion clinic where it's like a ceremony. I mean, it's just pure evil. And anyway, we're pro-life. And I was just watching it, and I was like, the guy's very much a Christian, reasonable person. He goes, this just popped up. I'm showing you. He goes, look, you might not want your kids to see this.
I don't want to see stuff like that.
But the whole point is, it's going, this is a spiritual, I was saying, for me, I accepted Christ at 18. I'd already been doing some stuff I shouldn't have been doing. And then I just hung a left. I wouldn't say a left, but it was just all about me.
Made some bad choices.
And I made bad choices for over a decade until it all came around. And the interesting thing was, and you have to be paying attention to it, which means you have to have that communication. But when I accepted Christ this time, it changed everything because I was all in. Now, I didn't understand what the heck was happening, but I knew me being.
He did.
Well, yeah, he knew what was going on. Me being my own God sure as heck wasn't working. That was working out horribly, But I keep saying, we're going to stop that. So.
Well, this is my channel. I think I'm going to take over in a minute.
Okay. I'll finish with this point. And I won't bring up the ACA, and I won't bring up ESG. You can see that. I won't bring up Warren. I won't bring up Warren Buffett selling $277 billion of Apple right there around the crash. You think they don't have control? He started it early, So and I won't bring up that Soros thing about he thinking he was a god. It's LA Times.
And Joe Rogan. They don't want us to talk about Larry Flint.
That was probably the one
that's probably the one that got it snatched. But
yeah.
But okay, so everything that you were talking about in this video and the one just previous that was recorded tonight, all of this boils down to a spiritual battle.
Yep.
Every bit of this is about a spiritual battle.
It's biblical.
So it is biblical. So if you don't want to hear about that, click off now because that's where we're going with this. Ephesians 6. We do not, in fact, my Bible's out in the car. I forgot to bring it in. Can you go get me a Bible? Any Bible will do. There's lots of them around the house. On any bookshelf, you'll find something.
Yeah, and I'm real good at this, so I'll be right back.
You'll be right back. So Ephesians 6 is all about the spiritual warfare that we are engaged in every single day. There's a book by Frank Peretti called This Present Darkness. Thanks, baby. It's called This Present Darkness.
You weren't kidding.
Yeah, I wasn't. But I'm going to need some
I think we mentioned this last time.
Yeah, I'm going to be right back, and Troy's going to talk.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know, it's just the creeping socialism thing. Some of the things I find interesting are like, when the Affordable Care Act got passed, it wasn't going to pass. And then some people got pulled in some back rooms and it passed. The influence of power up there these people are supposed to be representing us. Now, I don't know if they went and got told, look, if you get this passed, we'll go ahead and approve that bridge that needs to go from here to there. Maybe that is in our interest. Sometimes you want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but one of the things that Patrick Bet-Davis goes into is ESG, which is ecological or environmental, social, and governance.
Environmental,
and how there's a rating scale, and somehow Tesla's low on the scale, but Philip Morris is high on the scale. So it's a controlled scale.
Philip Morris being the tobacco company,
right?
You guys.
And then so there's a lot of different things that we can talk about. But I'm getting a little. You should have called it my rant. I just got work. You people worked me up. I wasn't watching all this stuff. I wasn't paying attention. And I think probably what's really got me worked up is watching them go from Joe Biden. And by the way, they put out a third faux parody ad for
spiritual war. Yeah, we got to bring back 45. Anthony, you are so absolutely correct. You are so right on. Everyone, please get out and vote. Yep. If you're a Christian and you're thinking, I don't need to be involved in politics, let me tell you something. First of all, we have a responsibility to the children of this country. Are we going to leave them this mess? I am beginning to almost panic about the shape the country's in, and my grandnieces and nephews and what they're walking into. So I'm reading from Ephesians 6, verse 10. Last of all, I want to remind you that your strength must come from the Lord's mighty power within you. Put on all of God's armor so that you will be able to stand safe against all strategies and tricks of Satan. For we are not fighting against people made of flesh and blood, but against persons without bodies, the evil rulers of the unseen world, those mighty satanic beings and great evil princes of darkness who ruled this world, and against huge numbers of wicked spirits in the spirit world. This is, what is this? This is the Life Recovery Bible. That was the Living Bible, Tyndale House Publishers. There we go. That's the one I'm reading from. When people say this is an Ephesians 6 battle, we're in a battle in Ephesians 6. That's what they're talking about, the spiritual war that we are in. Mm-hmm. You were talking about how you got off the path after you accepted Christ. But then once God beat you into a sense of reasonableness, you were able to finally surrender and realize that
I'm sorry, you were saying.
No, go ahead.
My opinion is, in general, unless I'm just really not paying attention, because apparently I wasn't for a while. When God talks to you, you know it. And the more I get closer to him, I'm not saying I'm like, can see everything, but if God smacks me, I think if God smacks me upside the head about something, you can't not do it. There's in your heart, you're like, God just told me I have to do it. And I have enough confidence that this is going to work out well. So there's been situations that I've been in, a friend's funeral, for example.
Which one?
Well, I don't want to mention, it was at the beginning of the pandemic, and he'd gone
lost a lot of friends.
He'd gone back to a lifestyle with it was we'll call it a motorcycle club.
Yeah, a motorcycle
very
club.
well-known motorcycle club. And I ended up speaking at it, but I had a plan of what to say up there, and I got up there, and these guys didn't care whether there was a pandemic. They didn't care about anything. And I'm talking like 1,000 of them. And God's like, he put it on my heart of what to say, and all I could say is, I'm like, look, I know who my friend was. I don't know about you guys, but I know one thing he would want you to know, and that's know Christ. No matter what mistake you've made, no matter what you've done, the cross took care of it. Christ going to the cross took care of it. So whatever you do when you leave here, don't ever feel like God doesn't love you. He may not like what you're doing or what you've done. I know he doesn't like a lot of what I've done, and really, to be honest with you, probably on a daily basis.
Oh yeah.
You know, but
Oh yeah. Can I throw in a verse here that goes right with what you're saying?
I hope it's 3:17.
No, it's Colossians 1, chapter 1, verse 6. And now, just as you trusted Christ to save you. So if you haven't done that yet, we're going to talk about John 3:16.
Right.
But if you have, and now just as you trusted Christ to save you, trust him too for each day's problems. Live in vital union with him. What does vital mean?
Life-giving.
That's right. Vital organs, heart, lungs. What else is vital? Stomach.
Okay.
Endocrine system.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, kidneys.
Pancreas is one.
Pancreas. Well, I bet you know about that one, don't you?
Yeah,
Mr. Diabetic.
that's what they tell me.
So now that you've trusted Christ to save you, trust him too for each day's problems. Live in vital union with him.
There's a peace that's beyond anything you could ever. These people that are doing all this stuff, I wonder about their peace.
Well, yeah, and for those of you out there who have thought about, let's talk to the ones. I got a couple things I'm going to do here. One of the people who were raised in religious homes, and religion was shoved down your throat. A lot of our Catholic brothers and sisters that happened to. A lot of non-denominational churches that the name it and claim it crowd. We understand where you're coming from. I get that. I totally get it.
We actually deal with a lot of folks like that.
And the truth is, that's not what the Bible teaches, so what do I always say? What is God made of? His essence is love. His essence, his very essence is love. The Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. What is that about? It's a relationship. It's a relationship. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. It's a relationship. It is love.
I don't suppose if I just disappeared and didn't talk to you for years that we'd be getting along very well.
Well, you mean if I didn't? Yeah. What would be the point?
Right.
You didn't care about me. You walked away. Okay.
My point is God's unchanging. He's always there. He loves you. He's always there. What am I doing in my life that gets me sidetracked from that relationship with God? I mean, God's a gentleman. If you don't want to talk to him,
he'll leave you alone.
He'll leave you alone. That's what Jesus did when he was down there. He's like,